Welcome, beloved traveler, beloved seeker, beloved archetype of God, Goddess Almighty. Welcome to Miraculi Mystery School. I am Astarius Miraculi. I love you so much. And today, the subject is Ascended Wisdom of Sound. There was a beloved who asked a question in the last video that I did. This beloved Carol Smith Rhea asked, what is the effect of sound in the healing process? Didn't get to that question in that particular video, and so I'm doing an entire video on the frequency of sound. Ascended wisdom of sound. And I'm in deep celebration right now because I just released a new album that I'm so sacredly proud of. It's called Fly My Winged Love. Just released it a couple of days ago. And it is a didgeridoo vocal harmonic classic, if I say so myself. And I did in fact put it up on YouTube, so you can check it out. It's my last upload on YouTube. Speaking of which, you want to make sure that you take advantage of the YouTube videos, because some of you who follow me on Facebook have been missing out on some of what I offer on YouTube. I've got 250 some odd videos on YouTube, and I've been blessed to reach more than 1 million views on there. So be sure and take advantage of those things. And even when I post a YouTube video on Facebook, check it out. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you check out all of the Facebook live videos and miss out on the ones that I just post on my page that are on YouTube. So make sure you take advantage of all of it. It's all so amazingly powerful and transformational. So we're going to break down this frequency of sound. Also, what's playing in the background is the title track of my new album, and the title track being Fly My Winged Love. So sound is the primordial first cause. Everything has found its way into being by virtue of sound. Sound frequency is that which brings amazing transformation. Even in the scripture, we hear that statement that says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and all things were made by virtue of this. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but the essence is all things were made by virtue of this word which is the frequency of sound. And so the way in which we use the vibrations of sound determine whether we experience positive transformation, whether we experience healing. See, sound frequencies are actually our elders. They are like a bridge between the physical domain and the spiritual domain. You know, when I bring forth a sound like that sound has a foot in the realm of spirit as well as in the realm of the physical. It's in spirit because it's nebulous. You can't grab a handful of it and say, I've got a handful of that sound. And it's in the realm of the physical because you can hear it with the physical ear. Sound is the primordial first cause of creation. A wonderful affirmation. I am so in love with me, so in love with sound, as sound is so in love with me. I am so in love with me, so in love with sound, as sound is so in love with me. Everything is the resonance of sound. Even solid things have a resonance of sound. The bones within our body is a resonance of sound. It's just a very, very slow vibrational frequency. And then when we look at the sound of, let us say, the blood within our body, it's less dense. So there's an even more accelerated vibration of sound there. There's also a resonance of sound that exists within our thoughts and our feelings. If we're thinking negative thoughts, we are then sending forth energies that is discordant vibrations of sound that will bring about negative results. So we want to use sound in ways of wisdom. We want to use sound in ways that bring about divine transformation. Sounds are carrier waves of consciousness, you know, like these sounds are our elders, carrier waves of consciousness that trigger a remembering of that which we have forgotten. That's what these frequencies of sound are actually for. To bring about an eternal remembrance of divine selfhood, who we are in the divine reality of our being. These are sacred wake-up calls. I don't know if you ever had the opportunity to see some of my videos called Didgeridoo Animal Healing. I have two on YouTube. Didgeridoo Animal Healing Part 1 and Part 2, where I had the opportunity to play my didgeridoo and do vocal harmonics for lions, tigers, bears, hyenas, and wolves. And it's amazing to see the way in which these animals responded to the sound frequencies. You know, I was able to get as close to them as within about 5 feet. They were behind a tall chain link fence. This was at Out of Africa Wildlife Park in Camp Verde, Arizona. And I remember the amazing experience with the black bear, and I raised the didgeridoo up along the fence, and the black bear went up on its hind legs, following the didgeridoo. And I got the tiger to do the same thing. I had the hyenas running with me. And you go check it out for yourself. Didgeridoo Animal Healing, Part 1 and Part 2. And that was a strong confirmation of the significance of the resonance of sound that I'm working with, because animals, like children, don't come from intellectual sifting. Animals come from their instinctual core, as children come from their intuitive core. So we can learn a lot by how animals and children respond to something. So that was an amazing confirmation of my experience with sound. I remember when I first, many years ago in the year of 1995, first came into relationship with the didgeridoo, was in a drum circle. And it was a combination of drums and didgeridoos and all playing together. And then all of a sudden someone said, okay, all of the drums be quiet and let's just have the didgeridoos play. And there were 6 didgeridoos going off at one time. I think the Most High really wanted me to get the importance of this instrument for me. Because, I mean, it's enough to hear a live didgeridoo for the first time with just one going, but 6. It was an amazing experience, and so I was then prompted to buy a didgeridoo and to start my journey on sound healing with the didgeridoo. And then, after being into playing the didgeridoo for maybe 1 year, I was at a friend's house who was a beekeeper. This was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And my beloved and I went out by the beehives. I was standing behind her, playing the didgeridoo into her back, and Spirit called my name from the inside. It says, Astarius. Internally, I answered. I said, yes. Still playing on her, but a dialogue has started. And Spirit says, you're from the clan of the trumpet angels. And a light went off in every cell of my being. And I had an instantaneous understanding of why I'd had such a profound experience with the didgeridoo playing for just a year at that time. I was excited to tell her what I had gotten. Didn't stop playing on her right away, but at the point when I did stop, before I could tell her what I had gotten, she looks at me and she says, oh my God, I just saw the biggest angel deva I've ever seen. So God, in graciousness and kindness, gave me the message in 2 different ways. Let me clairaudiently hear that I'm from the clan of the trumpet angels, and clairvoyantly showed her the angel. So the clan of the trumpet angels are who have taught me. My clan taught me a lot about this resonance of sacred sound. Taught me that the sound of the didgeridoo, for example, that the clan of the trumpet angels, keepers of didgeridoo, before it was passed to the physical domain, before there was an earth, in fact, all of the resonances of sound exist in the celestial realm before physicality. They taught me that didgeridoo is not the hollow tube that the sound comes through, but rather didgeridoo is the actual frequency of sound that is coming through. And that instrument is its body. So it is with the piano. Piano in truth, not so much the thing with the keys, but rather the sound current emanating from it. And the thing with the keys, that's its body. Guitar, harp, drums. You see, because all of these are celestial sounds that exist in the higher realms before physicality. And upon the creation of flesh, then we have these different material instruments by which to create these sounds that exist at a celestial level before physicality. So if you're wanting to establish some mastery in the realm of sound frequencies, you might want to consult with my clan, the clan of the trumpet angels. And so these sound frequencies, as I said, is the bridge between heaven and earth. They are our elders. And so I want to bring in some actual sound frequencies. I want to use the technique of, there's a technique of healing, you know, and when you heal with sound, basically what you're doing is bringing whatever has fallen out of center back into synergy. You know, just like discordant sound, like an orchestra out of harmony with itself. You see, sickness is in harmony. And when the vibration of sound is offered into the field of the body, the mind, of the emotions, you know, in a harmonious way, then that which is out of harmony and out of balance then begins to come into a place of balance and into a place of harmony. You know, we can do that through Om. Many people chant, you know, the sacred Om, which is the primordial first cause. So what I'm going to do now is I want you to think of something that you are wanting to bring about in your life. It might be a physical healing. It might be a mental healing. It might be an emotional healing. And I'm going to play one of the tracks from my new album. This one is called Sound Wizard. And when I play it, I'm going to transmit some frequency to you. Some of it by way of a whisper chanting, where in whisper chanting, I might go, so I am not actually making a sound that you can hear audibly, but there is a frequency of sound that is still being offered. And so I'm going to transmit this frequency through the track Sound Wizard. At some point I may even chant along with it. But I'd like for you to use this moment to receive a transmission that can bring about some sacred transformation for you. So let me get this track going. Okay, beloved. We got some sound frequencies at work on your behalf. You know, humans hear in a range from 20 to 20,000 hertz. Hertz meaning cycles per second. However, we know that dolphins hear things that the human ear does not hear. Dogs hear things that the human ear does not hear. And so even when we don't audibly hear the resonance of sound, there is still a frequency at work. But even when we're not able to hear a sound frequency, we are able to feel the vibration of that frequency. We all hear everything at the cellular level. Because when we look at the frequency of the cellular level, we each are a biological living library containing the knowledge of all things that are, were, or ever will be. Anything to be known in the whole course of the history of the universe is contained within each and every one of us. And all vibrations are interconnected. There's only one life in which we all share, and only one love through which we all care. Only one being in all that we're seeing. A slumbering giant is what we are freeing. When one is at peace, what a mighty release of breath unto life, that all may increase. Anyone's joy is everyone's right. The wise one's wisdom is the blind one's sight. Yes, there's only me in all that I see. The joining of life is what makes me free. And those who achieve and abundance receive is that part of me in whom I believe. When I am a winner, I honor all life. When I am a loser, all life shares my strife. Before life on this earth and my physical birth, I danced with the angels and knew my true worth. Yet all that I was, I really still am. The God out of heaven, an innocent lamb. If I want to know who I truly be, seek all that there is, and I will find me. And so when you see others that have went to places that you aspire to go to, see that as your own self by extension, as that part of you who has achieved that. Because as I constantly say to you, all the vibrations of accomplishment is your own accomplishment by extension. You are co-accomplisher of everything that is accomplished, co-expresser of every good deed, co-creator of every creation, because all life is interconnected. And that which is done by the drop is done by the ocean by extension. And that which is done by the ocean is done by the drop by extension, which is why the entire story and resonance and frequency of the creation is cellularly recorded within each of us. It is time that we wake up and use the full measure of the mind and brain capacity, and certainly breathe the full measure of the breathing capacity. So many people in our world are shallow breathers. Shallow breath is a death wish because it's an unwillingness to bring in the life force into the body. Every deep breath elongates your life. It lengthens your lifespan, as shallow breaths can shorten your lifespan as well as lessen the quality of your life. So make sure you're bringing breath into your body. Breath is God hiding in plain sight inside of each of us. And so it's a powerful, powerful frequency. So now let me bring in a little bit of the didgeridoo. And here again, I'd like for you to focus upon some of the significant things that you would like to manifest in your life. Oh my God, life is a wonderful thing, beloved. Beautiful beyond measure, I'm telling you. And I want you to wake up and remember the divine resonance of who you are. And allow these sound frequencies in to facilitate a healing for you. As I said before, they are carrier waves of consciousness. They are our elders, and they hold the record and memory of those things that we have forgotten as we have come into this physical experience. See, we are part of the physical experiment of that part of Creator, that part of divinity that chose to take on physical incarnation. And we were aware of the fact that the likelihood was very strong that in this physical journey we would forget who and what we are. But we have this other resonance of who we are as frequency of sound, as well as angels and God, Goddess Absolute, standing in the circle of eternity, remembering for us that which we forgot when we came into this physical experience. So we want to honor these sounds as our sacred spiritual wake-up call, that which wakes us up into an awareness of our divine nature, as we wake up to our divine nature, then we come to understand that all of the negative experiences that we have engaged in were engaged in by a false resonance of selfhood. That which is divine within us cannot and does not behave in negative ways. Only that separated ego component of self, the shadow ego component of self, because we do have a light expression of the ego too, which allows us our individual expression of selfhood, while at the same time staying in divine alignment with the God-Goddess essence of our being. If it ain't divine, it ain't mine. If it ain't divine, it ain't thine. We want to remember that. See, there is a place within each of us, and the sound frequencies teach us this, a place within the central core of being that is uncontaminatable, that is never touched by any negativity, any shadow, or any darkness. And we want to learn how to keep sacred company with this component of ourself in the central core of being. That's the uncontaminatable place within us. It is never touched by any of our negative behavior or any of that. And I love it that our Creator is not urgent for us to hurry up and behave or any of that, because our Creator knows that we are offsprings of its divine self. And eventually we're coming back home. Every one of us, no matter how long in the course of eternity we run amok, ultimately we are coming back home. Let us believe in that for our individual selves. Let us believe in that for every other being. The thoughts that we think is also offering the frequency of sound. How do you think about others? Even when you see them being negative, do you affirm their negativity? Then you're offering a resonance of sound that is making that negativity even bigger than it was in the first place. Wouldn't it be better to see a higher resonance for them, a higher possibility, see the possibility of redemption for them, make a meaningful deposit within their soul bank that will accumulate interest until such time that they can withdraw it. Let us have each other's back, because there's too much backbiting and too much negative projections, and you can only project negativity at your own self, because every being is your own self by extension. So I thank you for receiving this download. I love you so much, and I wish you the best that life has to offer. I want you to feel into that. No matter what's going on in your life right now, feel into that something within you that is absolutely risen above every trial and every tribulation. Feel that something within you that is your absolute champion. I'm saying to you, beloved, be your own champion and have your own back. And know that the joke is on your trials and tribulations, because you are eternal and their days are numbered. All of the negatives, adversities of life are of time and space, wherein everything has an expiration date. And so we are so grateful for this reality. I love you so much. Once again, be sure and partake of my YouTube videos. Got more than 250 of them, million plus views, and you'll find some amazing things there that can be of great benefit to you. My new album is also on YouTube, Fly My Winged Love. However, on there, all of the 13 songs are merged into one track. But of course, if you want, each track individualized, all of that is available on my website, astarius.com, astarius.com. Also want to let you know I'm available for psychic astrology readings and what it is that I do within a reading, whether it's in person. And if it's in person, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, but I do work with people all over the world by way of Skype. When I do a reading, I go into the core essence of who you are, what some of your life lessons are in this life, what some of the challenges are and how to transcend those challenges. You're going to look at things relative to your sacred labor, your responsibility, your life purpose, talents and so forth that you might have, and things that may be needed to clear, that you need to clear in order to move blockages out of the way so that you can go ahead and live your life purpose. It is a very transformational experience. It's very solution-oriented. I also recorded and emailed the recording after the fact. And I would love to serve and empower you in that way. Also with sound healing transmissions. And when sound healing transmissions with didgeridoo and vocal harmonics are directed specifically to you on an individual level, there's tremendous transformational energy that can affect change within your life. So it's a wonderful thing. On my website, I've got 20 albums right now that are available via digital downloads or hard copy CDs that can be ordered. And just to say a little bit about a few of them, one is Spirit Rap, which I highly recommend. It's like 12 tracks with major invocations and affirmations, and it's actually been my top selling CD ever since it hit in the year 2000. And many of you are aware of the title track, Spirit Rap. So many people say that that one has literally saved their lives. Also want to speak a little bit about Abraham, Primordial Heart, which is an amazing one, and it is just an amazing collaboration of vocal harmonics, voices within voices within voices, as well as the human heartbeat, vibrating in the realm of theta. Those are really powerful. I also use in many of my albums now binaural beats, and binaural beats also can powerfully facilitate the sound healing process. A binaural beat basically is like the performing of the marriage of differences, we might say. So if you have one tone in the left ear, let's say that was 90 hertz, and then one in the right that was 80 hertz, the difference between the two is 10, so the binaural beat becomes 10 hertz in the middle. So it's like two distinctly different things that create a third reality, that is the reality that you partake of. When you listen to binaural beats, you don't hear the distinct tone in the right or the distinct tone in the left, but rather the tone in the middle that is created by the relationship between them. So binaural beats help us to entrain to that level of consciousness, which helps us to perform the marriage of differences on whatever level it might be. When we see this person that does this thing, that person that does that thing, how do we find the way in which there's a commonality between those things so that there is an expansion of empowerment? And also another wonderful album called Prosperity Master Plan. The whole album, which is probably about 70 minutes long, nothing but how to bring about and manifest this abundance of prosperity. I also have a donation button on my website. If you are moved and touched by my offerings and you would like to give a donation or tithe, then you can click on that donation button and give your offering, and I'm so grateful and appreciative of that. I love you so much, and I see you winning in your life. May every wonderful thing that the universe could possibly offer be yours. Aho Ashe, Amen, Namaste, Hotep, In Lakesh, Alakin, Shalom, Satnam, Hariom, Rastafari. Your sacred juices are cooked, my sacred juices are cooked and infinitely expanding. Juice-tafari, bliss-tafari. May we always have many miles on our smile, wiggle in our giggle, tingling in our boots, laughter ever after, putt in our strut, wings on our butt, always rising up at the top. There's room for all. It's just the bottom that's crowded, y'all. And so it is, and so it shall eternally be. Oh! Yeah!